that was also like a big conceit of her talk show. Like she would have people on who would talk about, you know, being abused and having cancer and having all these difficult times in their life. And Tyra would always be like, you know, one time I was on a shoot in Milan and I had to wear a bald cap, which is kind of like going through chemo. And the person would just be like, no, it's not at all. It's not like that at all. You know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yes, and Tyra's hot ice cream.
The road to hell is absolutely paved with Tyra's hot ice cream. That's so true.
Hello, and welcome once again to Text Me Back podcast. As you know, the only podcast. I'm Megan Hatcher-Mays.
And I'm Lindy West. You can't say that today because we have a guest who also has a podcast.
Oh my God, this is so awkward because I think I did this once in front of someone else who has a podcast and we had to be like, they're technically, it's okay, just kidding. There are other podcasts, but you and I both know.
There are technically two.
Anyway, we have a special guest. Unfortunately, for our listeners, we won't be spending the next 30 minutes introducing the show. We're going to get straight to our guest. She's very illustrious and it's very exciting to have her. Lindy, take it away.
Yes, this person is very special to me. I have recently been taken under her wing to learn how to be a social media influencer / superstar. You know her, you love her. Her name is Franchesca Ramsey. And she's right here. Welcome to Text Me Back podcast, Franchesca.
Oh, that was a delightful introduction. Thank you so much. I love you being under my wing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I love it too. Sometimes I'm like, how many times a day is too many times to text Franchesca for feedback on my video that I made?
No, I love it. I love how game you are. It's really refreshing. And I wish more people had that approach to like trying something in a new creative space. You just have to be willing to play.
Well, I love school and I want the teacher to give me an A on my project. And you're the teacher. Will you tell us a little bit about yourself? Because
sure.
We hate to just read a bio. So tell me your favorite things about yourself.
Well, I've been changing my introduction to say I'm a sometimes TV writer because the state of our industry is such that I would love to write for TV more often. But it ebbs and flows as most industries do. But I'm also an actress. I'm a producer. I've been a content creator for 20 years, which is like wild to say. And in this new phase of my career, I'm also doing some consulting, which is how Lindy and I reconnected to start making content ahead of her new book out March 10th, Adult Braces. And so, yeah, it's been really fun. And now I'm doing some consulting, like actually at a social media marketing agency. And I'm working with a few other freelance clients. And it's great. I feel like it combines all of my skills in like the film and TV world, but in like a more tangible, fast-paced, practical way, which I really, really like.
Can I ask a meta question about social media? I feel like I'm definitely falling for the fear mongering about social media, but I'm wondering if I should be falling for it. Like, is it as much of a cesspool as I think it is? I mean, and I'm also wondering too, because there's a lot of like concern. I don't know if it's concern trolling or it's actual, real, genuine concern about like, is social media turning our nation's boys into fascists, or is that like overblown?
Yeah.
Or I guess
that's
like
definitely happening. That's real.
That's regular blown.
That's the normal amount. I mean, you've been influencing social media-ing for like 20 years. Like, how is it like more grim now, or like what are the big differences, do you think?
I think the big difference is that we understand the power of the algorithms in a way that we didn't before. And there are people that are making decisions about what it is that we see in order to fulfill whatever their whims are. Like it used to be that you could go on YouTube and you would watch one video about crafting and then it would serve you more things about crafting and similarly related interests. And now the algorithms more and more seem to start pushing you towards more extremist content. Mm-hmm. Like just after one watch, suddenly you're getting hit with like hate speech and AI generated pornography and just like there's just so much crap. And unfortunately, the Mark Zuckerbergs and the Elon Musks, like they are controlling these platforms in a way that is very manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
So
why are they doing that?
What? What's the problem?
You know, I think the biggest revelation, and I'm going to put Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, in there, is like a lot of powerful men are just fucking losers.
Yeah, dude.
They're losers. And like, look, the Epstein files came out and it's like, they didn't even want to fucking hang out with Elon Musk. Do you know how much of a loser you have to be for a bunch of pedophiles to be like, don't let him come hang out with us?
His vibe is unsettling.
Exactly. And so it's like, these are people who, and Elon Musk is a perfect example. You are very, very wealthy. And it is very clear that he is really bothered by the fact that people don't like him. He wants so, and I put Donald Trump in there too.
Oh, yeah,
right?
totally.
Like, these like super thin-skinned, insecure Mark Zuckerberg. If you have not read Careless People, it's like this fascinating memoir about a woman who worked in public policy at Facebook. The things that she reveals about how insecure Mark Zuckerberg are, like, you know it, but then to hear it, you're like, these are really powerful men who are using technology in this way because they're fucking losers.
Sorry, do they want me to come over and be nice to them? I'd be happy to. Can I come over?
In exchange for like a free-flowing democracy? Absolutely. An afternoon of laughs. Yeah.
Yeah. It is like, it's cliche to say, but like dudes would rather like wreck our world than just go to therapy. Like go to therapy and just like leave us alone and like yourself. But yeah, it's a lot of people manipulating the internet in order to feel powerful. And for better or for worse, the internet has always been like an awesome place for me. Like I've met so many people. I met Lindy through the internet. I've made some great friends. And so I'm of the mind, like, we need to stay here and like fight against the bad guys and make it a positive place.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So how are Lindy's videos breaking through with all that said?
Oh my God. Okay. So Lindy is such a great student. She's so like gung ho. She really is like it, you know, I've worked with a lot of different people and like and Lindy, you probably have had this experience too. Like when you work in the writer's room, you're always getting notes and you're always getting feedback. And it's hard when you've worked really hard on something and then someone just comes in and says like, no, do it this way. Or they pitch you something that just feels totally out of left field. So it's really nice to be working with someone who's just like open to trying stuff and like not being too precious and being silly. I feel like that's really important in social media. I feel like people take themselves way too seriously.
From the first moment, you were like, hey, why don't you lean into the fact that you're not that good at this? I was like, yeah.
I think I said it a little more tactfully.
You did. You were very nice.
But what I will say is I often get people reaching out to me for advice about content creation. And I always tell people, like, don't do anything that doesn't feel natural to you. So people will say, like, I hate being on camera. How do I get more comfortable? My thinking is, then don't be on camera. You don't have to be on camera. Film your dog. Do a voiceover. Like, do a slideshow. Do whatever. So, you know, Lindy was saying to me, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like silly. And I'm like, that is a direction. And like, and ultimately authenticity is what connects with people on social. We had an era where it was like super glammed up, high production value, like HD camera, ring light. Now it's like your phone and you're in your car and you're eating and you're doing your makeup. Like it just feels way more like a FaceTime. So lean into that.
Not knowing what I'm doing, that's my brand. Franchesca taught me to make these little videos. And first of all, I'm obsessed with it. It's so fun. And then I post them and then people watch them. Did you know that, Meagan?
Yeah, some of them are doing numbies.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm too hungry for the attention. So I often will like post something not at the right time. Like I'm not very obedient to the algorithm. And so sometimes I tank my own engagement, but that's okay. I'm like, oh, I want the attention. I'm going to post it right now. Then I don't get as much attention as I could if I just waited.
The thing that I have to remind myself and remind people that I work with or that I'm like offering advice to is like, you have to set metrics that are within your control. And if your metric of success is, I'm going to get 1 million views, I'm going to, have this many subscribers, whatever, it is very easy to burn out because you can't control those things. But if your measure of success is, I'm going to post this often in a week, I'm going to try these kinds of new things, I'm going to learn a new editing skill, whatever it may be that you can actually take ownership of, then you've been successful. And ultimately, it is a numbers game. You got to try a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And then something works.
Do you want to talk about pop culture?
Oh, I would love nothing more.
I hear that you had some beefs in your heyday. I assume on Twitter. But would you like to talk about your top celebrity beefs?
Oh my God. It's so funny because I was telling Lindy about this, that my partner, this is his favorite game, is to like name a celebrity and be like, do you have beef with them? And so one that I accidentally found out that I had beef with that I was telling Lindy about was LL Cool J blocked me on Twitter because he put out a song in 2017 called Accidental Racist.
Oh boy.
With Brad Paisley. And I lit his ass up and I would do it again. The song was ass. The song was bad.
I have not thought about that song in so long, but the lyrics
well, you're
were
gonna
literally
think about
like,
it now.
I know, and I'm paraphrasing, but the lyrics were literally like, it's not his fault that he did a hate crime. And there's nothing wrong with being white or whatever.
LL Cool J at one point says, if you can forgive my chains, I'll forgive you putting my ancestors in chains. No, absolutely not.
Now, did that win a Grammy? I can't remember.
I feel like they had to immediately like wipe it. The video came off YouTube.
Yes, they said no.
You cannot find the original video. And it was truly baffling because he really thought this was about to be like his moment. He went on Ellen and like talked about how important this song was. And I don't even remember what I said, but I stand by it and he blocked me for it.
Whatever it was, I'm sure you were correct.
Yeah.
Do you think that you tagged him or do you think that he was name searching?
Oh yeah, no, I was tagging him. I was definitely tagging him. I was definitely tagging him. Now, similarly though, to your question about name searching, I got blocked by Erika Badu and I did not tag her. She absolutely searched her name. And the only reason I found out is because this was like during the R. Kelly trial. She posted something about like girls, this is why you shouldn't let your daughters wear short skirts around the house or some victim blamey shit like that. And I did not tag her, but she was going on tour and I was about to buy tickets to the tour. And I tweeted, guess I won't be buying those Erika Badu tickets. And she saw it and blocked me. Now, the only reason I found out is because I got invited to a private party that Erika was performing at. Okay. Yes, I name drop. I was at a private party. And I was like, this is so good. And I like went to tweet about it and I couldn't. And I was like, that's weird. Why can I not find Erika Badu?
Did she delete her account?
Did she delete her account? And I was like, so I was like, let me log into my burner. So I like went into my other account and sure enough, her thing was there. So then I did a search for my name and Erika Badu. And that was the last time I had mentioned her.
Oh
and I was
my God.
She absolutely blocked me over this.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't Google this. This is just coming from the vault. Didn't Erika Badu famously like walk naked down the street where JFK got shot?
Yes,
and then
in Daly Plaza. And then she fell down.
Don't let your daughter wear a skirt around a man.
Man?
Yeah. No, it makes no sense.
You had your mom's pubis out next to the textbook depository?
She sure did.
At the site of one of our nation's great tragedies? Hello?
And I also just want to flag here. I did say I was not going to buy a ticket to Erika Badu, but I did accept a free invitation and I was happy to be in the building. Yeah. Miss Badu will not get any more of my coins after that.
Oh my God. That's a really good one.
Like, she's still a talented musician. She just has some very hoteppy, weird.
Yeah, some problematic
ideas.
Views. Lindy, I feel like you probably have some good celebrity block stories.
Oh, God, I wish I had thought about this in advance. Well, you know what was my earliest celebrity beef that still haunts me to this day? I can't believe I haven't talked about this on the podcast. When I was still at The Stranger and I was a film critic, I was writing about movies. I wrote a viral review of Sex and the City 2 that was very mean, very problematic, actually. Don't go look it up, but went viral, kind of my first viral moment. And then some like famous comedians followed me on Twitter. And I was like, ah! One of them was Thomas Lennon from The State and like Reno 911, who I love. Actually, Dave Holmes, MTV VJ Dave Holmes,
yes,
followed me from Sex and the City and for some reason tagged Thomas Lennon and was like, you need to follow Lindy. So he wasn't even that bought in, actually, is what happened. He was like, okay. So then some months later, the movie Bad Teacher came out starring Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
And Thomas Lennon was in it. And I
see where this is going.
And I wrote a review of it. I didn't think it was very good, but also I was very mean at that time and I didn't like anything. And then I tweeted, bad teacher, more like bad movie. Which
it was right there.
Nailed it.
Like, I'm deliberately being stupid, which is what I like to do. Then he replied and he said, thanks, I was in that movie. And then he blocked me.
Oh, no. Now why did he write the movie?
Right? I was like, come on.
Yeah. Come on.
What's your investment? What's your investment in this movie?
And like, no shade, but like Bad Teacher did not go on to be some like critically acclaimed blockbuster Oscar winning movie.
Name one person other than me who's seen it.
I can't.
That's right.
I can't.
But I was so sad. I was like,
yeah, that's a sad one.
And then I think I did like send him, maybe he didn't block me. Maybe he just unfollowed me, but because I think I'd sent him a DM and I was like, I'm sorry. I kind of am not used to having any kind of a public exposure. And the idea that the people that I'm writing about might ever see it is crazy to me. And he was like, yeah, I get that, but I'm not following you as well. Fuck you as well. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I still feel bad about that.
Every famous person I know says that you're not supposed to read your reviews. That's just like a well-known thing. If they read them, they're not supposed to say that they've read them because it just looks silly. Like you're getting paid all of this money and you're human. You're allowed to feel your feelings, but ultimately like the audience is allowed to feel however they want. About
that's what the private group chat is for. I think, I think there was some big scandal on Book Talk recently where a pretty new author was like getting into it with people on Goodreads. And it's like, look, I just want to, I've never written a book, but I totally understand the draw of wanting to read things about yourself, like name searching. I totally understand the impulse. And so go ahead and do it. But you cannot get into beefs with Goodreads people.
Let me be clear. If you tag me, I'm definitely showing up. Don't invite me over and then act surprised when I show up.
When you ring the doorbell.
But I'm not gonna. But to go looking for it, I think you're just asking to like get your feelings hurt.
I think the crime that I did to Thomas Lennon was that he followed me, and so it was not it non-consensually popped up in his timeline when he thought he was safe. And then all of a sudden he's hit with bad teacher, more like bad movie.
Now, did you recognize him in the movie?
Oh, yeah. No, it's like a huge fan. It wouldn't have changed how I wrote the review. So I don't know really what I would have done differently, but sorry to him. I am sorry to this man.
The closest I ever got to getting blocked by a celebrity, and this woman is not famous at all, and I hesitate to even draw anyone's attention to her existence. But there's this woman named Molly Hemingway, she spells it with an I-E, who works for the Federalist Society's website, thefederalist.com. And it's like technically a news website, but it's just like, it's like somehow more racist than National Review Online. Anyway, during the Kavanaugh confirmations, which is my day job.
Confirming and supporting Brett Kavanaugh.
Yes, I was online talking about how much I loved his whole ass. I loved his whole deal. Had no issues at all with with what he was selling. No, but so... he was credibly accused of sexually assaulting someone. And a lot of right-wing guys came out of the woodwork to be like, well, actually, it's not. No, he didn't. But if he did, it's not that big of a deal. And Molly,
all?
Yes, aren't we all just having a blast? And then Molly Hemingway tweeted, wow, since when did Democrats get so prudish about sex? And then I said, how come none of you guys know what sex is? And then she blocked me. And I said, wait, I thought you were being libertine about sex. Come back.
Yeah.
Molly.
Seems prudish to block.
And so I just recently, she's just been on my mind because I just recently discovered that she wrote Samuel Alito's forthcoming book, Alito, the justice who reshaped the Supreme Court. So good shout out to her.
It just confirms she has bad taste. She has bad taste. She is not smart.
That's right. She's bad.
Didn't you get blocked by Jesse Singal for saying he was poop from a butt?
Yes, so Jesse Singal what I said was, now Lindy, get it right. So Jesse Singal, I hate to use his full name because that is definitely a guy who name searches.
That's a name searcher.
That's a real name searcher. He's a real Google alerts for his own name type of guy. Yeah. But Jesse, if you're listening, you rotted, rancid little bitch. He is like one of our foremost transphobes.
Yeah, he's a huge transphobe.
Just a really terrible guy, and he relies on like sort of pseudoscience to basically just say that trans people shouldn't exist. Now, that's not how he would describe it, but that's in fact what's happening.
Yeah, he's careful. He might sue you for defamation.
Allegedly, this is what he gets up to. I don't know. But he is obsessed with detransitioning and is constant. I think he's probably hanging out with J.K. Rowling, who could say for sure. Anyway, he posted something rancid on Twitter back when I was still using it. And I called him Piggy Poop Balls and posted a photo of that pig that shit on its own enormous balls that Deadspin used to post all the time.
What?
Francesca, I'd send it to you, but our friendship is so new.
No, thank you.
So maybe later. But I think I think you could envision kind of what I'm talking about. But like the poop came to rest on the pig's enormous balls. And so I sent that to him. And then he quote tweeted me and the picture of Piggy Poop Balls and me calling him Piggy Poop Balls by saying something like, Megan Hatcher Mays runs in rarefied airs like circles in DC, and she's a leading expert on democracy issues, hobnobbing with some of our top elites in the Democratic Party. And this is how she talks about people online. And I was like, damn, I wish I was living that life. Like, I wish I had Chuck Schumer's ear, but no, I'm just calling you Piggy Poop Balls online. But he didn't block me.
That's just, I mean, like, say all those things were true. Like, it's not insulting to just state facts.
Chuck Schumer doesn't care what I post on Twitter, just for the record.
Also, Piggy Poop Balls is like an average day in the White House press office now.
Right.
Like,
correct.
Piggy Poop Balls is mild. If anything, you were ahead of your time as a statesman.
Yes. Thank you.
I think.
I was a visionary, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, he was really hitting you with the so much for the tolerant left because you said Piggy Poop Balls, which I
hate the so much for the tolerant left. I have never described myself as tolerant ever. Yeah. And it's just like, where do they get, like, is there a group chat or something that they're all using? Because they all have these similar little turns of phrases that they just pop out. And then it's like, I won.
To answer your question, yes, they do. I don't know if it's actually a group chat, but yes, there's like this whole network of right-wing actors that really do. Here's what works so well on the right that the left has not figured out yet. Like, Democrats, as a general rule, don't say something publicly until they've message tested it. Is this going to resonate? Are people going to respond well to this? Is this a salient point to bring up? You can have an opinion one way or the other about whether or not that's a good idea. I have mine. Right. The right, on the other hand, has a million different megaphones that they can just go out and say stuff to. And so they're message testing in real time and getting feedback in real time about what messages work and what messages don't. And because they have so many different outlets where they can test this out, it works for them. So they're already saying stuff while our side is like, oh, should we? I don't know. Do we have any polling on whether or not this is a good thing to say? And so then they coalesce around what is like emerging as like a good narrative. And then they do all just start saying the same thing. So the tolerant left must have been something that somebody said, it worked. And so they all got the memo, like a literal memo probably, that told them to start saying it.
Remember when they were saying, let's go, Brandon? It's like, guys, this is not funny. This is not funny. This is not smart. I saw a really funny stand-up clip and someone yelled, let's go, Brandon. And the comedian was like, what does that mean? And like, he was asking the guy to explain it. And like, you could hear as he was explaining how embarrassed he was by how dumb it was to explain. It was incredible.
I don't remember who the comic is, but I feel like he was just like, oh, okay, it's like a dumb thing you guys say. Okay. Like,
oh, it's not anything at all?
Oh, it's not anything.
Oh,
and then
Nimesh Patel is who it was.
Oh my God.
I'm remembering.
Let's Go Brandon was really embarrassing.
Yeah.
I saw there was like a New York Times article after Joe Biden dropped out of the election and Kamala Harris got the nomination. And it was about somebody that owned a Let's Go Brandon store and how like how Joe Biden dropping out had like killed their business and they like couldn't sell any. They couldn't sell any Let's Go Brandon stuff. And they were trying so hard to like come up with a meme about Kamala Harris, but like it was really hard because they couldn't do it without being racist.
Yeah.
So, like nothing was catching on.
Oh my God.
So funny.
That's so sad. I'm so sorry.
I'm devastated
guys.
for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you learned everything there is to know about social media. I feel better about it. Thank you, Franchesca.
You're welcome.
We're going to take a quick break. And then when we come back, which celebrity is wearing a lace front beard wig? Stay tuned. We're back, and speaking of social media, something has caught my attention. Something came across my desk, you guys, that really titillated me, okay? Because there's nothing I love more than low-stakes, stupid gossip, and this just really hit all the bullseyes for me. Mm-hmm. Okay, so everyone here knows Jake Paul. He is a moron with an idiotic brother who I guess just used to be a YouTuber and now he boxes / MMAs now. Mm-hmm. He mixed martial artists.
Sidebar. Franchesca, would that be a good marketing move for me and Meagan to pivot into MMA?
Oh.
Thoughts?
I don't know that there's a market for Lady Mama, but but you guys could be the first, which could be a cool trailblazing.
We could, we could join men's MMA. We could fight the men.
Yeah, we could just get the brakes beat off of us.
I don't know if you want to. I don't recommend.
That's like back when I was on Twitter and I was like antagonizing the male comedians. Multiple comedy boys were like, "You couldn't last 8 rounds with Joe Rogan in the octagon."
No shit.
That's a thing that they love to do, is just get in a boxing ring and hit each other. It's very strange.
I'm good. I'm all set.
But Jake Paul loves it.
Yeah, Jake Paul loves it. And also just like a quick sidebar about Jake Paul. Or actually, it's not a sidebar. This is relevant. So one is he's a dumb, racist idiot who is MAGA, and he said a bunch of shitty stuff about Bad Bunny, who is my best friend. And I won't stand for that. And it's even more awkward because he said all this nasty shit about Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl, and he said all this pro-ICE stuff. This asshole and his dumb asshole brother moved to Puerto Rico to avoid paying federal taxes because the tax burden is different if you live in Puerto Rico than if you live in the mainland. And I'm like, now, if I'm a Puerto Rican, am I going to let him live peacefully on my island? I don't think so. Not. So let us know if you spot him in San Juan.
Get him.
Get his ass.
They were also arguing publicly about whether or not Bad Bunny is an American citizen.
Right.
And it was like, you live there.
What?
You live there. Did you show your passport to get in there? Or
no,
not?
You did not. So the best thing too is like, so then Jake, at least, who's also a stupid idiot, but he at least had the presence of mind to be like, I love Puerto Rico and the people, because he's like, I don't want the smoke, right? Because
you're
mocking.
But also, I guess he's
son.
doing something with like, I heard that it was because he's doing something with WWE, and WWE has been courting Bad Bunny, and so like they're trying. He's just like, I'm not going to mess up my check, you know. Like he still is very much like the lesser of two evils. Like he sucks.
Oh yeah, lucky for him, he loves getting beat up. So
yes, so he was in a boxing match with a guy named Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua beat the ever-loving shit out of Jake Paul. It was beautiful. He rocked his whole ass and knocked him out. It was so bad that Jake Paul had to get surgery. And this was not that long ago. This was like mid-December. Okay.
A few months ago. Yeah.
So not that long ago. Theoretically, you'd still be recovering from something like this, right? Okay. So he had to get surgery on his jaw to basically reconstruct his face, which was smashed into little Lego bits by Anthony Joshua. Then, not even like a month later, he's giving an interview and he has a full beard still. He had a full beard in the fight and he still has a full beard. Not like 5 Day Shadow, a beard, okay? And his face is still a little bit swollen and he's got a really long, flowing like lumberjack beard. And the internet's like, that's curious, is it not? Because he's talking about how he just had the surgery a month ago. Surely the surgeon would shave the beard to get to the jaw. What sort of third-rate surgeon would leave a full beard on this man's face as he was reconstructing his jaw?
My dog goes to the vet to get some IV fluids. They shave his whole arm.
They sure do.
So everyone's like, what's going on here? Okay, like what the hell? And then this man who I trust with my life comes out of nowhere. He makes this TikTok that goes viral. Just some random guy. He's like, I have a friend who works installing wigs in Los Angeles. And here's what she sent me. Confirmation that Jake Paul is wearing a lace front beard wig. He's wearing a face smirking. Okay. To hide the fact that his shit got rocked by Anthony Joshua in December. And now everyone is losing their minds. And by the way, he's at the Olympics right now because his girlfriend, I guess, is an Olympic champion speed skater. And it's like, girl, first of all, I think you could do better. And he's walking around the Olympic Village with this lace front face smirking on, Franchesca.
Like, beards to men are like the way that men are always like annoyed that women can wear makeup and like change their appearance. Like that's what a beard is for a man. Like if you have a weak jaw, you throw a beard on there and it like instantly makes you 3 or 4 points more attractive. So it's probably like the swollen jaw, but also he probably knows he looks crazy without it.
Yes. Don't you think? I guess I loved it so much because one, the vanity of it made me laugh because he really likes to portray himself as some like tough guy, couldn't care less, that sort of thing. And to your point, it's very like vain, which is like a girly characteristic to, care what you look like. And two, did we know that lace front beard wigs existed? Girls, your thoughts?
I knew about the beard weave only because on the male and female model season of America's Next Top Model, which I think 5 people watched, they gave one of the guys a lace front beard and it looked crazy. It looked so bad. It did not look good at all.
I didn't watch a lot of ANTM when it was actually on, but I had just recently watched this documentary, this deranged America's Next Top Model documentary that's on Netflix. And they showed the lace front beard wig and I was like, oh my God, I was just thinking about these things. This is so insane. But I will say, I kind of feel like Jake Paul's looks pretty good. Like you can't, unless you were looking for it, I feel like you can't really tell.
It's been a significant amount of time. I will say like the wig technology, every year they just get better and better. I invested in a wig recently. It was $35 and it looks really good for $35.
I saw it on your story. It was beautiful. $35?
$35. Like,
I would have said $3,500.
Oh, the wigs are getting better and better and better. Like you can literally get Beyonce quality wigs for like decent prices.
Wow.
So I'm just assuming that when, Top Model went off the air in 2013, that must have been like 2010. Yeah, the wigs have come along. The technology's come a long way. Yeah. And again, the Top Model budget, if you watch the show, you could tell the budget is not that high.
It was 5 UPN dollars.
So Jake Paul is working with a very different budget than Top Model was.
Yes.
Like it's already such a big swing to even do a toupee for a man because people already saw you be bald.
They know.
It's such a masquerade that you're asking the people around you to participate in. That like yesterday I was bald, today I have hair. Yesterday I had a pulverized face that was being surgically reconstructed. Today I have a great big bushy beard. But like we know you don't have a great big bushy beard. And so
I don't want to participate in this delusion, sir.
Why do I have to participate in the delusion, Jake?
It also is one of those things where like he's not my favorite person, but I feel like people would have been okay with him getting surgery and then being away for a while and then coming back with like a little 5 o'clock shadow. Like I don't think anyone's gonna be like, "Where's your beard?"
Unsubscribing from your YouTube over this.
His face probably looks really weird under that lace front, and he doesn't want people to see it, which is fair. But then, like, I would just say, stay home. Nobody is begging for Jake Paul to be anywhere.
I went to Puerto Rico a few years ago. Do you know that you can just take a boat in Puerto Rico? You can take a boat out to a beautiful sandbar in the middle of the ocean, like a white sand island where you're the only person there and you can swim in the aquamarine waves. Can you imagine you live in Puerto Rico and you're rich and then you're like, yeah, I could go swimming. Instead, I'm going to get a lace front beard wig and go on TV.
I mean, this is all related. These are very insecure. These are very insecure men. I mean, listen, there's nothing about this man that exudes confidence. Like he is always running his mouth on Twitter about shit that is way out of his depth. I mean, even the whole boxing thing, it's just this performative, like, I'm a man, I'm strong, I could do it, look at me. It's just like this, it's this huge overcompensating performance.
It's also sad because it's like, I'm self-aware that the best way I could make money is people want to pay to watch me get beat up.
Yeah. I'm so loathed that people want to watch me get pulverized. Yeah.
I will also say that those brothers are very scammy. Yes, people are wanting to watch him get beat up, but they have some back dealings with like all these gambling sites and stuff.
Yes.
Right. So they're like they're double dipping. Like he's getting paid for the fight and then is making money off of pushing these sports betting things.
That's right. I don't feel bad for them. No. I'm glad they're insecure and I'm glad they're getting beat up. Okay, I have a question. So Franchesca, did you watch the ANTM doc?
Yeah, let's get back to that real quick.
Yes. Devoured.
I have hated Tyra for a long time. Well, I mean, I find her fascinating like a big scary spider.
Yeah.
She's a freak in the head. Her ideas are crazy. Everything she does is like weird in a caliber that like Trump alone can equal.
Yeah,
like,
that's so true.
Yeah.
Like she is from another planet.
Yeah.
And I think she's a good businesswoman. I think she's very ambitious, but I think she's ruthless and a bad person. And I think that
which I would argue is part of how she's become so successful. Is she is so driven and she is so cutthroat. She will do anything to like get ahead and keep her name in everyone's mouth.
Do you think that Tyra is insecure? What's driving her?
I don't know that she's insecure. I think she just is not very self-aware. I don't think she sees herself the way other people see her. because, being vulnerable and admitting when you make a mistake goes a long way. It's not going to erase the mistake, but it is so rare that we see people be vulnerable and say like, hey, I fucked up, that like, it's really refreshing when it happens. And it's baffling to me that 20 plus years since the show premiered, she had not ingested any of the feedback in order to string together like just something that sounded like, you know what, I've heard what you guys have said. Instead, she was like, when you get called out, I hope you learn too. Because we all need to learn. Like, I know. What are you talking about?
She had such a bizarre affect, but that's also like her. That's Tyra, right? But just watching that documentary, I mean, like my first exposure to Tyra was she was Will Smith's like childhood girlfriend on Fresh Prince, right?
Fresh Prince.
And I thought that she was just a normal, beautiful woman. And it turns out she's actually out of her fucking mind. There's a lot of it that I think you can put down to, look, that's just what life was like in the early 2000s. It was rancid. All media was this deranged. And people got kind of hyper-focused on Top Model because it was available to stream during COVID. But with that said, some of the stuff they were having people do is actually fucked up for 2004. You know what I mean? They were like working people till they passed out. The race switching was deranged and they did it twice.
Well, the stereotypes. I feel like that was the thing that the documentary didn't really talk about. I will say I hosted a podcast for Audible called We Were All Rooting for You. And it's a deep dive into Top Model. So I know way too much. Yeah. It's really great. But like one of the things that we did that I wish that this had kind of delved into is like, even when you say like, we want to have diverse representation and that's why this is so important. Like, yes, you did have a lot of people from different racial backgrounds, but then the show always put them into these like very specific categories. Like there was this woman, Fatima, who had female genital mutilation and they made that her whole storyline. Like every single challenge, they would bring it up. And it's like, she's more than that. Or there was Anshul, who is Indian and she was born in the United States. She's never lived in India. And they would always be like, in your culture, it's like this, right? And she's like, I'm from South Florida. Like, you know, they did the same thing to Black girls. There was Yaya and she talked about being Afro-Latina and they really hammered home, like, you need to stop with this strong Black woman thing all of the time and really pigeonholing them in this way. While Tyra was saying she was making this show to like show diverse beauty and show the beauty industry. It's like, but then you did all of the same things that they did.
She really wants credit for a lot of the stuff and she doesn't want to take any of the blame for the stuff that came along with it. And I am kind of grappling with whether or not I think she went into Top Model with good intentions and it just kind of fell apart, or if she went into it not really caring that much. I do think she genuinely cares about representation. It seems like she really wanted the show to be diverse. I loved the part where they're like, she almost got into a physical brawl with Les Moonves over casting a Latina girl. And I was like, now that I like, that's fun. But
Netflix, if you're listening, televise that.
Televise that, please. But there's this whole part where she's like, you know, they ask her about the woman who she was effectively sexually assaulted in Milan, but they were like, oh, she cheated on her boyfriend. That was the storyline. And Tyra was basically like, well, look, I'm not in production. I'm not the head of story. That's Ken Mock. I don't know. And so she like defers a lot of the blame to other people who are involved in the show. But
earlier in the episode, she was like, I spent hours in the editing bay learning how to edit.
I was editing everything. And what you don't realize is that we cut a lot of stuff out. So it's like, so you did see it and you did cut, you cut stuff out of it to make it seem less bad. But she also wants credit for being like, I edited the show in such a way that it was a net positive for women of color everywhere and for curvy women everywhere and for plus size models. Like we kicked the door down.
For size 8 women everywhere.
Yeah, for at most size 10. Or she'll be like, you know, well, I got into it with Janice because Janice was always calling people fat and I didn't do that. Meanwhile, it's spliced in with footage of her being like, her ass is too wide. Next time you get a burger, take the bread off. So she was like actively participating in it. And then by like cycle 9 or something, she's actively just saying, well, look, I don't like it, but it is the way that it is. That's what the industry is like.
I think many things can be true. I do think she wanted to do something positive and she did do some positive things. I think that the show opened a lot of doors for a lot of people. A lot of girls from the show, whether they're in modeling or just in entertainment, tangentially are still working. Like I think about Isis, I think about Yaya, I think about Eva,
Winnie
Tokara,
Harlow is super
Winnie
famous.
Harlow, Niall DeMarco, who was the first male winner, who's also deaf. Like a lot of people went on to have careers, but there are more people that didn't. And they treated a lot of people badly. And I think the network is at fault. I think producers are at fault, but I think Tyra is at fault too.
Yeah.
And that, you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yes. And Tyra's hot ice cream.
The road to hell is absolutely paved with Tyra's hot ice cream. That's so true. I was just talking to a friend of the show, Ronald Young Jr., about this. And he was saying, I'm sorry, I want to like them, but Nigel and the Jays are complicit. And I was like, technically, yes, but I don't care. Tyra did it. I don't care.
I don't know. I found myself granting a full pardon to Miss J in particular. I was like,
at least Miss J. But like, I mean, you can feel that Tyra had a real like death grip on Jay Manuel's psyche. He thought she was his best friend. So like, it doesn't excuse abusing these women.
No.
But I want to say, here's a piece of evidence as a lawyer. Exhibit A, that Tyra is the villain. All this same weird shit carried over to her fucking talk show.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Which was psychotic.
Yes.
The fat suit? The fat suit? The fat suit?
Is that where she pretended to be homeless for a day, or was that America's Next Top Model?
Different
also?
episode.
Oh my God.
Different episode.
But she went out in a fat suit for a day, comes back to the studio, has actual fat people on. Tyra cries about what a bad time she had being fat. Then the real fat people comfort her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And then not to mention, she makes Shandy come on her fucking talk show so she can re-traumatize her. Like, the most charitable reading is she has absolutely no moral, like, she just doesn't understand anything.
No. She has such very little self-awareness because you know, her crying after being in a fat suit that she got to take off.
Right.
You know, she had like a smooth 45 minutes. And also people were looking at her weird in the store because they were like, why the fuck is that woman wearing a fat suit? Like, she and she had like this terrible prosthetic on. Like, no one was treating her badly because she was fat. They were treating you badly because they were like, she's got a camera crew and like a lumpy sweatshirt on. Like, what is she fucking doing?
Why is international supermodel Tyra Banks dressed like that? I don't understand.
But that was also like a big conceit of her talk show. Like, she would have people on who would talk about, you know, being abused and having cancer and having all these difficult times in their life. And Tyra would always be like, you know, one time I was on a shoot in Milan and I had to wear a bald cap, which was kind of like going through chemo. And the person would just be like, no, it's not at all. It's not like that at all.
She is absolutely not equipped to deal with anything with any stakes. She's not qualified to have those conversations. And yet she put herself in a position to have them constantly. And I think it was a bloodbath for years. And so that's why I acquit the Jays and Nigel.
I will say, I mean, this is maybe, you know, cold comfort, but over and over, you see the producers giving Tyra the opportunity to genuinely and thoroughly apologize, and she never takes it. At least to Nigel and the Jays' credit, they do. They do at least say a lot of this stuff doesn't hold up. I felt bad about it at the time. I didn't say anything. That was bad. That was wrong. I feel like they are at least attempting to take some accountability for their role in it. Whereas Tyra's like, I want my legacy to be hot ice cream. Meagan, also, you know, by the way, that whole thing where she's like, I graduated from Harvard. Girl, that was an online course.
Yeah, you had it's not a real degree. Oh, God.
Meagan, you said something yesterday that I thought was apt. You and I watch a lot of Dateline, a lot of true crime TV. And you were like, you said, this is so, to me, this felt exactly right. Tyra's interview feels like footage from Dateline of like a serial killer in the in the interrogation room talking to the cops who like thinks they are smarter than the
They're
cops.
smarter.
And
She thought she could outsmart the producers, and you can see right away that she can't. Immediately.
Yeah. It's so surreal to watch because she's really good at the non-answer answer and using a lot of words to just not say anything, and also like talking in this way that makes you think she's saying something really profound, right? Right?
I'm chilling even to see you do it.
And you're like, what are you? Do you think this is working?
I feel like a lot of politicians do that too. And it's like they're kind of doing not an impression, but it's like they picked up on like what successful public speakers do, which is sort of, and it's also like a little bit churchy, right? Where like preachers will put emphasis and like to really tell you something like, this is the part that is important for you to know. Like Obama was really skilled at this. Lots of preachers are really skilled at this. And so I think a lot of people who are cuckoo bananas are like, well, if I just talk like that, it'll sound like it's really important, even though I'm not actually saying anything. And I think she's like a perfect example of that.
You know who else does that? You know what else does that? ChatGPT. ChatGPT analyzes what smart people sound like. It's like taking this very superficial read of what is making someone sound smart and then just like transmuting it onto whatever you're saying. And it is just, it makes my blood boil.
I want to say something delicately because it's maybe not my observation to make, but there's something about the way that Tyra code switches in that documentary that is so gross because she does it when she's trying to dodge the racism allegations.
Thank you for saying that, because I noticed it too. And it, for me, it really exemplified that the producers were not, that they didn't have some diverse producers or that they hadn't really thought about how to ask these questions because, you know, when the Tiffany conversation came up, she was all about how she just wanted to, you know, she was expressing the frustrations that Black women go through. And it's like, but then like you always, she was smiling and laughing, and you then said, you're ungrateful. You literally took a Black woman and you made this example of her. And you always did this. You cast Robin at 26 and then was like, she's too old. She's too big. You cast Tokara as a plus size model. And then you guys don't give her any clothes. You let the white girl fix her teeth because she feels insecure about them. But then you tell the Black girl she has to fix her teeth that she likes in order to be successful. Like she was always harder on the Black contestants. And so then for her to be like, yeah, all of us, we all need to, I'm going to be there for the Black girls. It's like, oh, girl, please.
She would, like regularly kind of adopt that affect when the racism allegations were coming up. It's so interesting that you brought that up because I didn't clock it until just this moment where she was really like that's a shield too, to be like, you can't accuse me of this because I'm part of it. That's why I'm adopting the AAV accent just for this, just for this part, you know? To your point about how like the producers maybe weren't quite ready for that, I think a lot of white people walk around with this superficial belief that it couldn't possibly be racism if it involves two Black people. And that's not right. So I think maybe the producers were just like, well, I guess she makes a good point. Next question. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think that that's partly why, you know, when I got to interview a number of models from the show, and I talked to one girl, Brittany, who was in the challenge where they did the race swapping challenge. Right. And she herself said, like, she did feel uncomfortable, but because Tyra was the host of the show, she felt like, well, who am I to tell her that this is inappropriate? She thinks it's okay. So I just need to go along with it because I don't feel like I can be an authority on this subject or in this space.
Tyra's the one creating permission for this. And because she's a woman of color, it must be fine.
And around that challenge too, like when they talk about it in the documentary, it's like Tyra wants to position herself as this sort of forward-thinking, visionary genius who understands the industry better than anyone. But then, like, when they talk about that, she's like, well, you know, I was just like in my bubble and I didn't even understand that this would be offensive to anyone. And it's like, okay, so do you live in the world or do you not? Like, are you an international model who's always in Milan, who's like worldly and brilliant, or are you a little mouse who lives in a cardboard box.
She kind of wants it both ways. She wants to be perceived as this visionary who is ahead of her time, but also, hey, don't get mad at me because this show is just a product of its time. There's nothing I could have possibly done. This is just what it was like in 2004. However, all the stuff that was good about it was my idea and I'm a genius.
I feel like too many people, not just Tyra, have a real allergy to admitting when they get something wrong. And I think it's easier for people to just double down because they think saying that they were wrong is a form of weakness. And I've really always been to mind that it's a real show of strength to just say, I can't go back and change it, but like I made a mistake. And if I could do it differently, I would do it differently. And I think because she didn't do that, but then also that she hinted at there possibly being another season of Top Model, it just says to me, like, this was all just a vanity project. You have no interest in taking accountability. Yeah. You are hoping to get hate watches for the next season. Yeah. And people will absolutely hate watch. They absolutely will. If it ends up anywhere.
I just want to say one more thing, which is that the documentary should have been 12 episodes.
Yes.
Like,
thank you.
So much that they didn't get into. Meagan and I had this complaint in an episode a long time ago that Netflix keeps making these like hour-long documentaries about these pop culture moments that deserve a deep dive, and I'm sick of it. And I don't know if they blew their whole budget on flying to Australia to talk to Tyra in the back room of her hot ice cream parlor. Don't know why. Why was this 3 episodes? I was annoyed. Also, more analysis. Why is there one journalist explaining this? Where's Franchesca?
Huge missed opportunity. I mean, look, I'm biased because we did a whole podcast about this, but like my producer and I were texting and it just felt like they had listened to our podcast and like ripped some things from it, which, whatever.
Probably.
But like one thing that I think we did a really great job of is we had pop culture critics. We had someone who was a specialist when it comes to eating disorders. We had a trans non-binary intimacy coordinator who talked about some of the incidents that happened on set. They weren't there specifically, but they were able to talk about it from like a trans and non-binary perspective, and also just being very sex positive and talking about consent. We had Jen Posner, who is a TV culture critic who talks about representation. Like, we went to professionals in their field, but then we also talked to like directors from Top Model. We talked to casting people from Top Model. We talked to all sorts of people, who just auditioned and never made it onto the show. Like, and so we had a really a wide range of perspectives. And I really wish they had done that. Like, the journalist they included was great, but I feel like they could have had more.
The show was a juggernaut that ruined a lot of people's lives. And it deserves a 12-episode deep dive. HBO, if you're listening.
Yeah, get
Francesca's available.
Hulu has a series that's coming out that is doing a bunch of different reality shows, and Top Model is one of them.
Nice.
And there's some speculation that was part of why they were rushing to get this out.
And
that's why it does not, and it feels very rushed versus the Hulu series. I think it's produced with E. They go into a few different reality. Like, they talk about the Swan, for example, which that was a crazy show.
What a situation.
Crazy show.
So I will be seated for that one as well. And it does have more former contestants that did not show up in the Netflix doc. So I'm curious if they just did not feel comfortable with the Netflix production and they opted for Hulu instead.
Speaking of being seated, in conclusion, I'd like to say that one time I was seated next to Danny on a plane.
Oh, I can't believe Danny wasn't more famous. She's potentially the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
She's like, her face is
my God. What an angel. So stunning. So stunning.
Oh my God.
Franchesca, please come back soon. And I'd love to chop it up with you about the Swan. I have not thought about that show in like 20 years. What?
Chop it up, pun intended.
We're going to do some face maxing next time you come on.
And then we're going to do some lace front beards to cover up the scars.
We're going to maybe become Egyptian. Think about what they've gone through. Think of everything they've been through. No, we're not doing that. That's offensive. But thank you so much for coming on. Please, if you want to take a few moments and tell us all of the places our listeners can find you, and especially that your podcast about America's Next Top Model, I think will be of interest.
It's on Audible. It's called We Were All Rooting for You, Webby nominated series that I hosted and exec produced. I also have a podcast that's exclusively on YouTube called Lemme Fix It, youtube.com/@fixitpod. My best friend and I review the headlines of the week and we pitch how we would fix them. And then you can find me across social media as Cheska Lee, CHESCALEIGH.
Amazing. This was such a delight. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. And I am willing to acknowledge that there is at least one other podcast and it's hosted by Franchesca Ramsey.
Oh my God.
Thank you for all of Lindy's book sales as well.
Oh my God. Yes, I would be remiss if I didn't say Adult Braces, Driving Myself Sane comes out March 10th, wherever your favorite books are sold. You can also go to adultbracesbook.com to pre-order your copy, and we will see you on tour. I'm doing the LA stop. You better be there.
Exciting.
I would be dead without Franchesca right now. I just have to say, Franchesca, she texts me on like day one. She's like, by the way, I bought adultbracesbook.com and I redirected it to your book page. I was like, huh? What?
Send me an invoice?
I can't even tell you the extent to which Franchesca is keeping me alive. So thank you. Bless you.
Francesca.
I love you.
Oh my God. This was really wonderful. Thank you guys for having me.
Okay, we're going to take a break. Francesca's gone. And I feel a little bit sad about that. That was really fun.
I do too. I know. I love her.
I love talking to people like that who really scratch the itch in your brain about pop culture.
I love people who like approach it with sort of a scientific /
yes, I was going to say like an academic almost
anthropological brain. You know, they can speak with authority about like what this means. It's so exciting to me.
Giving like a sociology class, like it was so great. I just love that. So we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna end the program.
That's right.
Okay, we are back. And before we end the show properly, I'd like to say something about tumbleweeds.
Yep,
okay.
Please.
Because last week I was like, are tumbleweeds just a bit like, are there really that many tumbleweeds in New Mexico / Tucson, Arizona? And the answer is yes. We got a lot of emails and phone calls. That turns out tumbleweeds was the thing that people latched onto last week. And I want to read one of them because it's really funny. Sorry, I should have had it ready.
Don't apologize to me.
I started, so it should be easy to find. Oh, here it is. Okay, great. Apparently, these fuckers are blowing everywhere. And I guess they like explode really easily, and they explode like kind of violently and can like ruin. There's one person who wrote in who was like, I hit one with my car and it punctured my radiator. And I was like, what? What do you mean? But anyway, like, probably a dozen people called or emailed to be like, tumbleweeds are legit. They are a scourge on this earth. They are real. They're blowing here and there and everywhere. And I was like, oh my God. So thank you for letting me know. But one person wrote in, it's not a bit. I live in Tucson and tumbleweeds are everywhere during certain seasons. Not in the city as much because there isn't much natural foliage, but sometimes the freeways and rural roads are littered. The plant is called wind witch. Parentheses, I think it's actually, I know. Parentheses, I think it's actually some type of thistle. And the plant breaks at a small perforation at its base once it's ready to seed. And off it rolls, intrusively spreading its highly invasive seed like a much more appealing Elon Musk. That's a good joke. Also, and parentheses, trigger warning, snake death. From my kitchen window, I've watched a roadrunner hunt a rattlesnake, slam it onto the rocks until dead, and then swallow it whole. Meep, meep.
You know what? I don't need a trigger warning #snake death for that. Like, that's called the circle of life.
Yeah.
And this podcast is pro snake, but it's also pro roadrunner. So meep, meep, period. And that's on period.
You know what? You win some, you lose some.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Megan, yeah. Also, I thought of a new slogan for myself, a new motto.
Yes, go on.
Sex negative sex negative, snakes positive.
Buy our merch so we can produce that as a t-shirt. Get into it.
You know they would buy sex negative, snakes positive.
They would eat it right up.
Like that woodpecker ate the rattlesnake. What roadrunner? Wallflower.
Woodpecker. Meat, baby.
What the fuck? What's it called? Roadrunner.
Witch. No.
Wind
Roadrunner. Thanks for listening to our show. Next week, we want to offer you a quick preview of who we're going to be talking to, because we're going to have a guest next week too. And in fact, it's two guests. Their names are Ella Hooshagen and Isolde Raftery. Isolde is a reporter at KUOW, where Text Me Back podcast got its humble start. Ella is a civil rights attorney in Los Angeles, and we went to high school with these two illustrious women. And they are putting together a podcast for KUOW called Adults in the Room. By the time you hear this, the first episode of this podcast will be out. So please go listen to it everywhere you get your shows. It's about our senior year of high school. And I'm sure you're thinking, who cares? Big whoop.
I got news for you. You cares.
You cares. Our senior year of high school was straight up fucking insane. Like, it just was really insane. We had 3 principals in 4 years. Our second principal, Dr. Al Jones, was removed from his position for an inappropriate relationship with the student. A few months later, a different beloved biology teacher named Tom Hudson was put on leave for a different inappropriate relationship with a student. So the podcast is about what happened there. Ella and Isolde are working through a lot of like their role in reporting the story as like members of our high school's newspaper, student newspaper.
Yeah.
And Lindy and I were lucky enough to be able to hear the first couple of episodes already, and it's a knockout. It's such a good show. I was in tears. I know I'm like kind of close to it, but I just thought it's so well done. I'm really excited to listen to the rest of the episodes. The story is insane, and they've just done a really great job with it.
It feels really relevant, really connected to even the stuff we're talking about with America's Next Top Model. Like that whole era, late 90s, early 2000s, was so in retrospect, so scary.
Yeah.
And so dark. And I was listening to these episodes of Adults in the Room, and I had this realization, because a lot of it is about grooming and adults sort of having no boundaries with kids, and the ways that was normalized and excused. And I had this moment where I was like, oh my God, all of us were being groomed.
Yes. To
accept completely inappropriate, outrageous behavior from adults.
Yeah. There's also some bits about the teacher who was the faculty advisor for the student newspaper, who played a big role in like demonizing Ella and Isolde. He's also, speaking of like charismatic narcissists, had a whole cult of personality around him, myself included. I'm actually really excited to talk to Ella and Isolde about this next week, because this has really got me thinking about like my feelings about this teacher, and how much I really wanted his approval, and like how much of that was like him manipulating me. And like, you know, so it really casts that time of our lives in a really interesting light. And I think that's why I was so emotional. Like, you look at photos of yourself when you were 16, 17 or whatever, and at the time you're thinking, I'm an adult, I'm mature. And you look at pictures of yourself from back then and you're like, oh, look at this little infant. Like, she was only just born. She had no idea what was going on. And meanwhile, the actual adults are like throwing chairs, screaming at children, behaving in inappropriate ways. You know, it was really crazy.
Because it wasn't just those 3 teachers that you mentioned. Like, I remember so many different teachers that were wildly inappropriate.
Yeah.
I remember my Spanish teacher having us learn the Macarena, and he would have like female students come up and essentially like give him a lap dance, like do the Macarena, right? He would sit in a chair in the front of the room, and he would have girls come up and stand right in front of him and do the Macarena.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. And there's a lot of teachers, and this is not on par behavior-wise, but there were a lot of teachers at Garfield back then who were cultivating these little cults of personality. And I think that was like, I think that was a way to protect themselves from like claims of inappropriate behavior. For example, like when Mr. Hudson got suspended and when our principal got suspended, people were like rallying in support of these guys because they built these little communities of like acolytes, basically. Now, there's a lot of teachers who are kind of doing that same thing. I'm not suggesting other teachers were engaging in Me Too behavior, but it's the type of relationships with students that I think a lot of parents would be like, what? Why are you spending time with my kids outside of school at this level? It's just weird now, you know?
There was no instinct to protect kids.
Yeah,
you know?
Well, it was just a bunch of adults who wanted to be fawned over. Like, speaking of insecure men, it was just like weird losers who wanted friends. Anyway, I hope you'll check out this podcast. The first 3 episodes that Lindy and I got to listen to are so good. I think they're doing really important work. And it's, I think, really kind of healing to hear Ella and Isolde heal themselves through kind of like the reporting of this show. So check it out. Adults in the Room, everywhere you get your shows. I hope it becomes the most popular podcast, and that includes Text Me Back podcast. It's so good. And
there are three podcasts.
Yes.
Text Me Back podcast, Let Me Fix It, and Adults in the Room.
Those are the only 3. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, and with that, subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/textmeback. And subscribe to Newsletter Me Back, newslettermeback.substack.com.
And pre-order Adult Braces in hardcover.
Adultbracesbook.com. And if you're a tumbleweed, reach out. I want to know what your whole deal is. You're weird.
And yeah, I want to know, why'd you do that to that lady's radiator?
Why'd you puncture that lady's radiator? What the hell, wind witch? That's why she did it. She's a wind witch.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you next week. We love you
so much.
Goodbye.
Mwah.